In the years between 1903 and 1908, the Austrian poet Rainer Maria Rilke wrote several letters in response to a young man and aspiring poet who was seeking his advice and guidance. What follows is my translation of those letters. I would like to ask of you, if I may, to be patient with all that is unresolved in your heart, and to try to love the questions themselves, like locked rooms or like books written in a foreign tongue. Do not strive to find the answers, which cannot be given to you, because you cannot live them yet. And what matters is to live everything. For now, be content to live the questions. Perhaps then you will gradually, without noticing it, live into the answers one distant day. On your way there, embrace everything that might come with great trust. Take it upon yourself and hate nothing. No human being anywhere can respond to those questions and feelings that are currently assailing you. For even the best of us get the words wrong when we want to express such intangible and almost unsayable things. But if you hold close to nature, to what is simple in it, to the small things people hardly see and which all of a sudden can become great and immeasurable, if you have love for what is slight and as a servant seek to win the confidence of what seems poor, then everything will grow easier, more unified and somehow more forgiving. Not perhaps for your intellect, which amazed remains a step behind, but in the core of your very being. Be attentive to what rises up inside you and place it above everything that you notice in the outside world. What goes on in your innermost being is worth all your love. It is what you must work on however you can and not waste too much time and energy on clarifying your attitude to other people. Take pleasure in your growth, in which no one can accompany you, and be kind-hearted towards those you leave behind. Be gentle with them and do not plague them with your doubts or frighten them with your confidence. Look for some kind of simple and loyal way of being together with them. Ask no advice and expect no understanding, but believe in a love which is stored up for you like an ancient inheritance. And trust that in this love there is a strength and a blessing that will not forsake you even if your journey is a long one. For life has not forgotten you, it holds you in its hand and it will not let you fall. Why should you avoid then all that is unsettling, all pain, all depressions of the spirit, when you don't know what work it is these states are performing within you? Think about whether these great sadnesses have not gone right through you, whether much within you has not changed, whether somewhere, in some part of your being, you were not transformed while you were in the grips of your sadness. The only sorrows which are harmful and bad are those we carry among people in order to drown them out. Like diseases which are treated superficially and inexpertly, they only abate and after a short pause break out again and accumulate inside and are life, unlived, rejected, lost life, from which we can die. If it were possible for us to see further than our knowledge reaches, and a little beyond even the workings of our intuitions, perhaps we should then bear our sadnesses with greater assurance than our joys. For they are moments when something new enters into us. Our feelings fall silent in shy anticipation. Everything withdraws as a stillness settles over us. At its center stands the new, which nobody knows, making no sound. I believe that almost all our sadnesses are moments of tension that we experience as paralysis because we can no longer relate to our estranged feelings, because we are alone with the strange thing that has entered into us, because everything familiar and accustomed is taken away, because we are in the middle of a transition where we cannot stand still. That is also why each sadness passes. What was new in us has entered our heart, penetrated into its innermost chamber and lingered not even there. It has already become one with our blood. We might easily suppose that nothing has happened, but we have changed in the same way a house changes when a new guest enters. We cannot always say who has come, perhaps we shall never know, but transformed we are. Quiet friend, you've come so far. Feel how your breathing makes more space around you. Let this darkness be a bell tower, and you the bell. And as you ring, what batters you becomes your strength. Move back and forth into the change. What is it like? Such intensity of pain. If the drink is bitter, turn yourself into wine. In this uncontainable night, be the mystery at the crossroads of your senses, the meaning discovered there. And if the world has ceased to hear you, say to the silent earth, I flow, and speak to the rushing waters, I am. We must accept our existence in the widest sense possible. Everything, even the unheard of, must be embraced. That, when you come down to it, is the only kind of courage demanded from us. The courage for the oddest, the most unexpected, the most inexplicable thing that we may encounter. That human beings have been cowardly in this regard has done life endless harm. The fear of the inexplicable has not just rendered the individual existence poorer. Relations between people too have been restricted. For it is not lethargy alone which causes human relationships to repeat themselves in the same old way with such unspeakable monotony. It is a fearful shying away from any kind of new, unforeseeable experience which we fear we may not be equal to. But only someone who is ready for anything and rules nothing out, not even the most enigmatic things, will experience the relationship with one another as a living thing and will live his own existence to the fullest. We have no reason to be mistrustful of our world, for it is not against us. If it holds terrors, these are our terrors. If it has abysses, these abysses belong to us. And if we only organize our life according to the principle which teaches us to hold always to what is difficult, then what now still appears as most strange will become our most intimate and most reliable teacher. How can we forget those ancient myths found at the beginning of time? The myths about the dragons who at the last moments turn into princesses. Perhaps all the dragons and monsters in our lives are princesses, only waiting for the day when we will find the courage to no longer reject them. Perhaps everything terrifying is deep down a helpless thing that stands in need of our own kindness.